I won't force you into stuff. That would be super wrong.
Hello friends and welcome back to ReddX, your source for the freshest daily Reddit content anywhere on the internet. Promise, swearsies, it's just a fact, and it's totally science. Go ahead and look it up. Today we're jumping into r/NeckbeardStories. I just couldn't stay away. Well, one of these stories is from r/NeckbeardStories. The other one comes from my personal subreddit r/ReddX Reads. One of these might turn out to be a series, the Sammy Beard series, which I am quite looking forward to. You know, we always love a good series around here. And then the other one is basically just about a neckbeard thirsting after an Asian chick, as neckbeards are wont to do. So I'm eager to get into it. Let's not delay any longer. We'll get some plugs and disclaimers out of the way, and then we will jump right into some neckbeard cringe. Sammy Beard, the first helping. Love that title. Love your username, Chunky Egg. Egg. The year and a half I spent trying to befriend, understand, and reform Sammy Beard is time that I could never get back. The experiences, the conversations, the manipulation, and the smells. Oh God, the smells! These are all things that will be at the forefront of my collection of cursed memories. Hey, I got some of them too. You want to trade? I'll trade you 2 of my 4th grade embarrassments for one of your high school disasters, huh? As much as I wish I could cram those memories down into balls of nothing and just forget any of them ever happened, I think remembering all those events and emotions and learning from them is not only healthier, but also it means that at least some good can come from my knowing Sammy. Everybody, this is a lesson. I can barely begin to dredge up all those cringe-inducing moments without feeling like I need a scalding shower, or better yet, one of those full-body, several-step decontamination showers at hospitals where guys in PPE help rid you of chemical or biological substances. We got a 2319.
Prepare for decontamination.
But as to how and why I ever came into contact with Sammy Beard, it was more of being forced together in a tight-knit work environment that enabled access to me. He was kitchen/prep staff, and I mainly worked behind the bar and waitressing on the floor. Sammy gets his name from the fact that he mostly prepared sandwiches when working in the kitchen, albeit poorly. Bro, dude can't even make a sandwich and he's got a job in a restaurant? What is going on with these hiring practices? Let me talk to you, manager. Uh-oh, you don't want to see ReddX go full Karen. I think you know where the beard comes from, but yeah, we'll keep that on the back burner for now. I didn't meet Sammy until a few days into my new job, and really I didn't think of him with any of the vitriol like I do now. He seemed a bit socially awkward and nerdy, but okay, so was I. I was also thrilled to find solidarity in the fact that he played video games, liked comics, and tabletop. Heck yeah, the nerd trifecta. The only negative things I could really say about Sammy was that the dude always stank a bit, with varying degrees, and he was greasy from his floppy-stained baseball cap to his weirdly baggy jeans that swam around his legs even though he was obese. We made a point of talking to each other during shifts when there was downtime, chatting about whatever. I was pleased that I had made a new friend, especially since moving to the area that summer. It was Sammy who brought up tabletop. He asked me candidly
What I like to do for fun.
And I admitted my interest in D&D, something that I felt was acceptable to share with him. I say that because often the mention that you play pretend wizards and goblins by rolling dice will bring to mind a distasteful stereotype of an out-of-shape basement-bound geek sweating all over his sexy elf ranger mini. Or, God forbid, you get those people from the 70s and 80s that still believe D&D is some sort of devil-worshipping game. Hence the era of satanic panic. Oh, bro, Dark Dungeons. It's just golden.
Didn't you learn Arabic? You needed it to convert the Muslims, who didn't realize they were actually worshipping the moon god.
But Sammy was absolutely ecstatic when I said I had an interest in playing. He gives me the name of the Discord server that he runs, which is nowhere near as good as ReddX's Discord server. And he tells me that he and a few others would be interested in starting up a new game
If I was down.
I was eager to accept. Well, Sammy spent the next week organizing players for our campaign, Waterdeep Dragon Heist. I could barely contain my excitement at playing again. I thought up character ideas whenever I could and drew out sketches on my iPad of elves, tieflings, and turtles. Eventually, I settled on being a young half-elf rogue. While Sammy wouldn't be DMing, he would be part of our group. When he found out that I could draw recognizable shapes... It is a talent. I'll give you that. I can't even do the shapes. He was insistent that I draw his blonde,
Aryan, Viking-esque blood hunter.
I didn't balk at it because I was so happy to have a friend, and I got right to work. Sadly, I didn't finish it in time for the first D&D session, but no big deal. I'd gathered my snacks, my cozy blanket, and my note-taking journal in front of my laptop, ready to pulverize some hapless gnolls and get in rowdy tavern brawls. All standard D&D fare. But what wasn't expected was the room of people that I was drafted into. I mean, yeah, sure, Discord has a rep for drawing in all types. But I found myself in a lobby of all guys with Pepe Frog and similar 4chan meme profile pics, nasally waxing poetic about squicky sexual conquests in previous campaigns between player characters, dappled with chuckles and guffaws. The conversation had already switched to PC gaming when I finally spoke up. I introduced myself and asked where Sammy was, and sure enough, I heard Sammy's signature wheeze.
So, Chowkieg, I see you've decided to join us. Guys, this is my friend. Be nice to her.
I greeted everyone in chat, even the few who expressed worry
About a girl player.
Uh-oh, already. And another who made a suggestion that
I was Sammy's lady.
I quickly cleared that out of the way, rather embarrassed. But the game quickly begun, and we plunged headfirst into Waterdeep. The session was okay, and my player character was well received. Sammy commented that my character's youthfulness and innocence brought a nice contrast to the otherwise grizzled gang. Everyone seemed to agree on that point, and I was very pleased with myself. My only gripes were the party's fondness for slipping in middle school-esque innuendos, and even racial or misogynistic or homophobic insults and remarks in a majority of the exchanges. Racial as in not D&D races, but like real-world ethnicities. Well, that's what I'd expect from a 4chan group, I'll tell you that much. I ain't too fond of them boys. Really, this is the point where you should have addressed the issue and nipped it in the bud or just decided to leave the group completely. Because while you think it's just kind of jokey and they're slipping it in and stuff like that, they're testing the waters is what they're doing. So things are surely only going to devolve from here. I feel sorry for you already, OP. Can't we just play a nice game of D&D, you guys? God. Sammy would also get off track and make the Dungeon Master recap a part of the story because he'd been playing a video game in the background while incessantly wheezing from inhalation of weed fumes. I think the most egregious sin of all, besides being a mix of disruptive and distracted, was the way that he underutilized his player class. The Bloodhunter class has so much potential to be a game changer when you fully read and digest the mechanics, but all Sammy did was have his Bloodhunter wave a greatsword at everything without activating his blood rights, while not being skilled with said greatsword, but instead being great with archery.
I don't know how this class works, guys.
All he really had going for him was one or two amusing bits that he had with his mini-mimic. He also complained when he failed to deal any significant damage and would just regress into playing Battlefield 5 in the middle of combat. I really hope to have a better understanding of D&D after playing with who I thought was a seasoned player, but Sammy left little for me to admire or compliment. Even compared to a complete casual like me, he was by no means a great or even halfway competent player. His player character's only discernible traits were being tall and speaking in a Russian accent with one-worded answers or just straight-up grunts. It made for some atrocious RP. But after we established our party, sessions became regular and I started seeing more and more of Sammy. Overall, I still considered him a friend, a weirdly moist and socially inept friend. But well-meaning and misunderstood, at least for the time being. The worst is yet to come, but it would arrive shortly in a festering haze of Cheeto dust-coated terror. Aw man, so many cliffhangers lately. Come on, I need more. Oh man, this guy's definitely a specimen. You can tell who he is by the people that he surrounds himself with. Of course, he's on his best behavior right now, because he wants to impress a potential lady. But eventually the mask is going to get ripped off, much like in the Stealth Beard video, and we're going to see Sammy in his full, less than glorious neckbeardery. And I really like that it has some RPG elements to it. I really like those stories, man. We should go back to RPG horror stories. Sorry, side tangent. But yeah, this is definitely a great setup. I would like to know about the amusing bits that he had with his mini mimic because, yeah, it doesn't seem like he's that great of a role player or anything. He's mostly there to just bro out and make some racial jokes. The fact that he wanted you to draw his Aryan character should probably be a red flag as well. That's a no-go for me, my dude. I mean, essentially, it is just a race of people, but considering the connotations it has, I don't know about that guy. So we'll look forward to more of Sammy in the coming days. But for now, let's watch this neckbeard thirst over an Asian girl, as I promised. So let's jump into the next story right now. Creepy Neckbeard by It's Cat Lols. Posted in my personal subreddit r/ReddX reads, "Thank you so much for watching, supporting the channel. I know people out here just doing mass work for this channel, helping us to grow, and I could not be more grateful to you guys. Thank you for giving me stories to read and helping me to keep this content flowing." Anyways, let's jump into the story for reals now. Disclaimer, I'm not the greatest writer, so I apologize in advance for any grammar errors I make in this post and for anything weird with the formatting. I also get really panicky when thinking back on stuff like this because of past trauma, so there might be some awkward transitions from me taking a break and then coming back to it. I guess I should also put a content warning for stuff like grooming and just generally creepy behavior towards minors. Oh boy, we're in for it now, boys. So this happened pretty recently on a pretty small social media site. It's one of the older MySpace knockoffs for anyone who's curious. Just some background info. I'm a 14-year-old Chinese American girl. I look very girly, I guess, and I have a bit of a baby face. I recently posted a face reveal for my online friends who had shown their faces in calls before, so I trusted them. Maybe a week later, I got a friend request from a profile that, looking back, was incredibly suspicious. It was a completely blank profile. There was no layout, there was no profile information, and no information at all about this guy besides his age, 17, and a username. A very unfortunate nickname for people named Richard. I'm probably just gonna call him Beard, though. Dick Beard? Ah, that's funny. I can't keep saying it, though, because I'll get demonetized in no time. So Beard is fine. I'm going off screenshots of the convos that I sent to my friends, so the quotes should be accurate, unless I read them wrong, lols. Less than maybe 10 minutes of me accepting his request, he messaged me. Pause. Why did you accept the request in the first place? You're like, this profile looks suspicious. Except, come on, don't do that, bro. I know you're smarter than that, too. That's just asking for trouble, man. And here comes trouble. Beard.
Thanks for the ad. What's up?
He seemed pretty normal to me, so I responded. And then he got kind of weird. I made a status after accepting his request saying, "Hi, Dick." His name was censored. The site is owned by Christians, so they did have a profanity filtered. Beard.
Yeah, small talk, weather's real nice. I saw your status saying hi, Dick, and it got censored.
Me. Lamal. Yeah. One of my friends posted an artist with a Japanese name that had shit in it, and it got censored too, lols. Beard.
I was gonna say that a little bean like you said a bad word.
A little bean? What? This gave me kind of a bad feeling. It doesn't give me a bad feeling. It gives me a really confused feeling. The profile's the part that gave me the bad feeling. But let's continue. But I assume that I was just being paranoid because I had been groomed before. I thought that he just said that because I was quite a bit younger or something. Then he said something that really freaked me out. Beard.
Is that adorable Asian picture really you? Oh.
I thought I'd taken down my face reveal after my friends saw it. Turns out it was still in my stream photos album. It was a bit weird for him to look through that album because most people don't look at it because you have to actively look through someone's photos in order to find it. Oh boy. I immediately deleted the pictures. I started freaking out because I had just met him and he already knows what I look like. It had taken me so long to show even my closest online friends because I have a lot of issues with myself. And now a literal stranger knew what I looked like. Yeah, that's bad news bears right there. You don't want that kind of attention on yourself, especially when you're that young, you know? Once you're older, more comfortable with yourself, it's okay, probably still not the move to make for most people if you're looking for any sense of privacy, but I digress. I calmed down after a while and continued talking to him. He started getting even weirder when I told him that the picture was indeed me. OP, lols, yeah, I'm not that good at taking pictures. Beard.
You're fucking adorable. I don't know what you're talking about.
He kept complimenting me, telling me I was adorable and whatever. I accepted the compliments because I thought he was just being nice or something. I wanted to get the conversation away from myself, so I asked him what his hobbies were. He said
he liked bowling, playing card games like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh, and hanging out with his friends.
I told him I casually watch anime and that I like to draw. We briefly discussed our favorite animals, and he said,
I swear, you're so innocent. I'd feel so bad if I accidentally corrupted your mind.
Oh, God, you bag of trash. He knows exactly what he's doing, and I hate it. I hate it. There's so much impotent rage just from that line. Like, I would love to pummel him to death, dude. Oh, my God. These stories are the worst. These stories are always the worst. But again, it's good to share it because it gets the word out, makes people consider what they are actually doing online and who they are encountering online. Because you might just up and get a freaking creep like this one. Okay. I kind of knew what he was talking about, but I'm sheltered and very likely autistic, so I don't really understand when people imply things without directly telling me. I just said, I got a lot of mental issues, so I guess you won't have to worry about that. He told me that
he had mental issues too, that he was getting treated for.
Which immediately made me feel bad about doubting his intentions. He was just another mentally ill high school student who might just be a bit awkward, and maybe I'm a shitty person for being uncomfortable. You're definitely not. He's using it as a sort of cover. I am so sure. And you should be uncomfortable. 14-year-old? What does a 14-year-old have to talk with a 17-year-old about? I assure you they are interested in very different things. He went on to say that he was talking about
corrupting me in another sense.
oh god. So that's what it's going to be now? We're just gonna come out and say it now, right? The day that I invent a device that can stab people in the face over the internet, I'm going to be a very rich man. And we will also solve the problem of, world overpopulation. So you're welcome in advance. The science is still out, but it's coming. Anyways, I told him I only kind of knew what he meant, which was true, even though it should have been glaringly obvious what he meant. He said,
"You really want me to explain, or?"
I told him I didn't mind and that I was fine either way. And he said,
"I meant corrupting your mind with dirty and naughty stuff by accident. Now you get it."
He said,
"You're not corrupted like that, are you? Or?"
You know that follow-up statement is only because he wants to be the one to corrupt her. Ugh. Can't we just line people like this up against the wall or something? My god, dude. I tried giving him a sort of vague answer like, it depends, or something like that. I also tried steering the conversation away by telling him how that stuff really made me uncomfortable and that it kind of scared me sometimes. He said,
"I promise I won't force you into situations like that. You may be super adorable, but I won't force you into stuff. That would be super wrong."
What a monster, dude. He knows it's wrong and he's just gonna do it anyways. Against the wall! Get against the wall! I felt weird about the comment about me that he threw in, but I brushed it off yet again. I told him that weird stuff, i.e. grooming, had happened to me before, so sexual things freak me out sometimes. Beard.
"That's why, in the rules of anime, don't lewd the lolly."
What? Did he just imply that I was a lolly? I've gotten comments implying that I was an IRL lolly before, so I guess I should be used to it. Nobody should be used to that. That is horrifying. But I just can't really get used to that kind of stuff. It made me so uncomfortable that I started to freak out again. My heart was pounding and I felt out of breath at the thought of someone trying to groom me yet again. I'm very paranoid, and I used to convince myself that the people who had tried to groom me before would find me again, and that they were watching me through the vents. His behavior reminded me of the lolicons who tried grooming 12-year-old me, and I tried to ignore it because I thought that I was just overreacting because of my paranoia. You are not overreacting, this is horrifying. What a rabbit hole to go down, dude. Beard.
"You are technically a lolly, and I won't lewd you unless you want me to. That's a different story. I won't be the one asking."
OP. Thank you for giving me the choice, but I'd rather not be looted, lols. Beard.
"Unless one day you have a sudden craving so bad, I guess I'll do you the favor. I'm still not asking because you deserve to be respected."
Do you hear yourself? Didn't I just tell you that I have issues with this topic? As a 14-year-old, I'm not going to ask you, a random 17-year-old with a totally blank profile, for sexual favors. Beard.
"Plus, I'm just a passionate person. I love cuddling and giving someone love. That's just who I am."
Beard.
"You seem pretty quiet. I must have accidentally made you anxious, or?"
I just told him that I was a bit uncomfortable with that topic. He apologized, which was nice, and made me a lot less uncomfortable with what he had said before. I mean, he was just an awkward teenager. Just another awkward teenager. Nothing weird at all. Absolutely nothing weird. He started going on about how he felt like he
Had to make it up to me.
and even though I told him I just needed some space to calm down, he kept going on and on. He told me how it was,
Because he's harsh on himself.
which I don't entirely doubt, but it still made me want to stop responding and just take a nap. Shut it down. We ended the conversation after a while, and the more I thought about it, the more I thought about how similar he actually was to one of the guys who had tried to groom me before. I decided to just ignore it for a while. The next day, I decided to ask my friends, in their infinite wisdom, what they thought about the situation. At first, I got really nervous because I thought he'd somehow see the messages and that the whole conversation would blow up in my face. Don't ask. I delude myself into believing the strangest shit, which is why I don't really trust myself. I mean, it's not outside the realm of possibility. Keyloggers are still definitely a thing. They're just a lot harder to sneak onto somebody's computer these days. You basically need like direct access. But I remember the days of AIM and Sub 7. Showing my age there. Let me get my walking cane. I explained the situation, and the friends who saw the message were out for blood. They told me how it was gross at best and dangerous at worst. Oh, thank God for smart friends. I blocked him, and I made a post about him so other people would know to avoid him. Then 2 other people told me that they had similar experiences with him. One said that he'd made the comments about her chest and how it
Turned him on.
She is the same age as me. Ugh, what a bag of puke. I hate him! The other said that he'd been trying to groom her for a while. She's 17. The first person said that he was actually 32, and that he changed his profile picture to a picture of himself. An older, flabby, pale white guy. She posted screenshots of their conversation that she took before she blocked him, and I was utterly grossed out. It was a lot easier to not feel bad about blocking him when I saw how he treated other people. I'm still not sure whether or not I'm being dramatic about my experience, but I know for a fact that what he said to the others was disgusting and wrong. Anyways, I think that's about it. To be honest, I'm not too sure if this counts as a neckbeard, but I just needed somewhere to talk about this. Even though I feel gross during the process of writing it, I almost always feel a lot better after I'm done. Jesus, OP. What a horrible situation that I am so glad that you got out of. 32, and he's chasing around these 14-year-olds. It was bad enough when I thought he was 17. But now my rage cannot be contained. I really can't even find the words for like how disgusted I am about this. Watch who you're interacting with online. Don't believe nobody about nothing. Blocking him is a good step, but honestly, if you're still able to, I would report him to like the site administrators or something like that. Lord knows they don't want to be a part of that sort of action. At least I hope not. I mean, the site has a profanity filter, so I'm sure if they figured out what was actually going on, he'd be removed in no time at all. And then you might be able to save some other people from this horrifying experience. Is he a neckbeard? I have no idea, but he is definitely disgusting, and in my opinion, deserves to be locked up, if not just outright shot in the face. We don't know anything about him aside from that he chases around kids online due to the blank profile and all that stuff, but that's enough for me to just feel the rage coursing. I mean, I don't know how many different ways that I can say it. I hate it. It's not often that a story gets my blood boiling like that, but this is one of them. Every once in a while we get one, and I'm so glad that it just ended at talking, because there have been some stuff like the Weezybeard saga that really ended up terribly, so I'm glad he didn't convince you to meet with him or whatever the hell his plan was. God, what a disaster, dude. Absolute disaster. Whew. Please, please keep yourself safe out there online, friends. Super important. There are people like this lurking in every corner. Not to be over dramatic, but really you can't trust anybody when anybody can say that they are anybody else. Anyways, friends, I hope that you were able to take something away from this story. Please share it around if you know somebody who loves to rage or cringe or just if you'd like to get the word out. I would definitely appreciate that. I hope that you'll also like, comment, and or subscribe on the video. Check out the links in the description. My personal subreddit, r/ReddX reads, where this was posted. Wifey's channel, Mr. and Mrs. ReddX. The Teespring, if you're trying to rock that merch. And my Amazon affiliate link is also down there. It goes to my microphone at the moment, but if you buy basically anything on Amazon after clicking that link, then I get kicked a little bit of cash, which is like super cool. We also got the social medias, the Twitter and the Facebook and the Discord. Yes, indeed, it is popping. And we've also got my Patreon. Oh, yes. You're seeing some names on the screen right now. Those are my gorgeous, wonderful, beautiful, generous patrons. And I would like to thank them all, but especially ZeroMMX, Lady Nix, Robert Waits, Pope Squid, Cider Drinker, Tato Ferret, The Last Shinobi, Mark 211, Michael Undead, Aaron W, Mitch, John Hero, Candy Sora, Digian Z, Fire Drake, Little Lone Wolf, Miss Monday, Silent Revolver, JM Coon, Leon Embers, TSM Kirby, Redwind, Synaptic Boomstick, Jerry, Staples, Yeet, Devindra, Cake Jerry, who joined up yesterday. And we've got yet another new friend joining us. Yes, indeed, Nat1 Nick. Welcome to the fold. He reached out to me on Facebook. Super cool dude. And he also hopped in the Discord. So, like I said, Discord, that's for the cool kids. Only the coolest. As always, we are pushing back against that demonetization monster. It does happen from time to time. I don't know how this episode will go because it is a bit edgier than usual. But we'll just have to see what happens. Obviously, if you can support through the Patreon, that is absolutely massive. I thank you so much in advance. But if you can't right now, don't sweat it too hard, friends. I just appreciate you coming on through, hanging out with me, and I hope that you'll come on back and hang out with me again tomorrow, because really the views is how my beard stays so buttered. In order to join us, you need to keep yourself safe out there, wash your hands, but also take some time out and do something that you personally enjoy today. Maybe watching some more ReddX videos. Dang, that's the big brain play, isn't it? Always remember, friends, that you are loved, you are worthy, and you definitely deserve it. I will see you in the next one. And until then, bye-bye.